On to the big story now. iCambo said, is it OK that the new Doctor Who will have to take a pay cut at the BBC because they regenerated as a woman? You're right, some people were outraged that it was a female doctor, and by some people I mean online shit stirrers. In fact, I'm going to say 90% of people who have a problem with a female Doctor Who also have a problem with female doctors generally. But let's go through some of the arguments that were being made against a female doctor. One, a Time Lord can't be a woman.
But a Time Lord can't be anyone because you can't time travel. It's not a thing.
OK, yes, good point. But even if we stick to the show's logic, the Doctor's nemesis, the Master, who is also a Time Lord, regenerated as a woman a couple of series ago, so we can tick that argument off. Two, well, it's political correctness gone mad. Is it, though? Is it? Because in a world in which half the population are women, the Doctor, who is an alien, has randomly regenerated as a man 12 times in a row. One woman out of 13 random regenerations is not political correctness gone mad. It's the law of probability. I mean, considering every one of those regenerations has also been white, odds are if you don't like Jodie Whittaker, you're going to hate what's coming next. The third argument that people then use is, but a female doctor isn't right. Look, I don't want to ruin the illusion here. It's whatever the writer wants it to be. It's a made-up story. And I'm pretty sure the person who writes the script for Doctor Who gets more of a say than someone who uses an egg as their Twitter photo and calls themselves Lord of the Bants.
Oh, shit, that was me.
If all of this really just boils down to you being uncomfortable with a woman being in a position of power, here's a tip. Why don't you lock yourself in a shed, build yourself a time machine and fuck off back to 1950? Some people suggested that means testing the winter fuel tax would redistribute money to people who really need it. But the big news out of the Tory manifesto was the so-called Dementia Tax, under which older people with assets over £100,000 will have to pay for their own care. Now, what this means is, if you have a heart attack and die instantly, your kids will get your house. But if you die slowly over a number of years, your savings could eventually dwindle until the state has most of them. I mean, this is an amazing policy, because dementia is the biggest killer of people over 60 in Britain. But the Tories have found a way to make money out of it, and because they've got dementia, people aren't going to remember who they voted for that caused it in the first place. And all this is happening in Dementia Awareness Week. How confident is Theresa May that
To be fair to her, she did announce the fox hunting thing on Basil Brush's birthday.
Someone called Martin Whittle said, is it OK that people like Hopkins are not treated the same as Abu Hamza and sent to prison for hate preaching? Now, here's an interesting thing. The day after the Finsbury Park attack, Katie Hopkins retweeted a video of a man being arrested for attacking a police officer outside Paddington Station. She tweeted the video and said, Allah Akbar, attack on police at Paddington, well filmed. Here's the thing. The guy being arrested was actually swearing in Romanian. At 20 minutes after the attack, police tweeted to say it wasn't even terror-related. But the problem is the police message got 200 retweets. Katie Hopkins got 2,000. And then the phrase Allah Akbar started trending on Twitter, and people around Britain thought there had been another attack. All because of this, basically...
a turd the size of Disneyland Paris.
Now, all of this is bad enough when it happens on a Twitter feed to hundreds of thousands of followers, but let's be honest, as you said, this is no different to what goes on in a number of daily newspapers on a regular basis. OK, all of those stories might be based originally in fact, but often they distort those facts to give you...
cow chutney.
Then they exaggerate them until they become...
a shite in shining armour.
And then add an inflammatory headline to present what can only be described as...
Thomas the Wank Engine.
Someone called Sertraline Queen said, is it OK to ask you to concentrate on the kindness shown by so many Mancunians rather than giving more publicity to the bomber? That is exactly what we want to do tonight. We said it earlier in the show, and I'm going to say it again. The people of Manchester have been absolutely amazing this week. I spoke to one Mancunian mate last night who told me that signs have gone up in pubs all across Manchester that just say, in the doorways, that just say, no hate here. And his words were, we went past hate, we went straight to love. There are tattooists in Manchester over the weekend offering tattoos of the worker bee. Now, the worker bee symbolises Manchester, OK, for the industriousness, the kind of the hives of business. 50 quid a pop, you can get a worker bee tattoo. All proceeds go to a charity for the victims' families. They've had thousands of bookings, including people who were at the concert on Monday. There are now tattooists around the UK doing it this weekend. Even some in Australia are doing the same thing. One guy tweeted, of course, because the humour has to kick in, that after he got his bee tattoo, his girlfriend asked, does it sting? I saw this amazing photo online. On Twitter, there was a tweet of a bee tattoo on a leg with a poem by Ryan Williams, and I'm going to read part of it. It finished by saying, "We're a city of workers, a city of shirkers, a city of tracksuits and Bibles and burkas. So come at us again and again if you must. Time after time we'll rise from the dust. You'll never prevail, not against us. This is Manchester, our Manchester, and the bees still buzz." Hate will never win against a city of poets. You've got no chance at all. And I've got a message for the group that we like to call Cyst ISIS. Here's something I've learnt from being here. No matter what you do, no matter how many lives you take, we will still help each other. Not because you forced us into it or because we're trying to defy you, it's because that's what decent people do. And by the way, which one of you clowns had the great idea that you can bring Manchester down by dividing them? Have you never seen football? Do you know nothing of Manchester's history? They've been dumped on by the IRA, the Nazis and the weather. They'll get through this. It won't be easy, but they'll get through it. And not just Manchester. As an independent observer, I can tell you that every city in the UK will come together stronger after an attack. Hull, Cardiff, Brighton, Newcastle. Last night, the bomb squad was called to a house in Wigan and the locals turned up to watch with cans of beer. I saw a photo of it with a caption that said, "Only Wigan could turn a potential terrorist situation into a midweek pisser." Do you see? Not one city in Great Britain will have their spirit destroyed by a terror attack, least of all Manchester. And you would have known that if you listened to their music. Oasis said, "Don't look back in anger." The Stone Roses said, "Love spreads." Elbow said, "We still believe in love, so fuck you." Manchester DJ Dave Haslam sent a tweet this week that said, "If you think hate will tear us apart, you picked the wrong city." And he's right. You will never stop us going to concerts. You will never stop us drinking in pubs. You will never stop us making each other laugh. And there is absolutely nothing you can do that will stop us helping each other. Because an act of terror only works if we're terrified. And right now, we're cautious, we're worried, we're a little bit scared, but we refuse to be terrified. To quote from a pub and a poet, I think I speak for the vast majority of Britain when I say, "There's no hate here, we choose love." And the bees still buzz.